The conversation this morning is going to be, how confident are you in the Lions in this matchup? And what I mean by that is I really want you to understand, what does Jacksonville do well? And what does Detroit do well, offensively and defensively? Mm-hmm. And how do we come to the conclusion that Jacksonville, for example, are 1-point favorites? How do we come to the conclusion that Detroit should win this game or shouldn't? I want to walk through this. Since Aubrey Pleasant was fired, Detroit's secondary went from 32nd in the league, and in that 4-game stretch, 19th. Not bad. Decent improvement. And 2 of those games, you basically missed Jeff Okudah for almost the entire game. One, the entire game, where he missed concussion protocol Thanksgiving, and the game he got knocked out of. Improved secondary play. And when you tell me improved secondary play, I look at 2 things. I look at game situations, right? What kind of situations are you in? Are you down? Are you up? Are you playing ahead? What is the tempo of the game? How's your defensive front playing? Which has been better. I won't say excellent, but it's been better over the last 3, 4, 5 weeks. And now you go up against a Jacksonville team that's high tempo, a Jacksonville team that can run the ball with basically anybody. They have their gadget player in Jamal Agnew. You got Marvin Jones, Christian Kirk, and Zay Jones at wide receiver. And no, not household names, but effective wide receivers. Wide receivers that will be able to beat you. And to me, this game has secondary written all over it. How your secondary plays will determine the outcome of this game. Not your offense, not even your front 7. Secondary play is going to be key because, again, Christian Kirk isn't Justin Jefferson. You are not going up against a Stephon Diggs here. And you've shown the ability to, I wouldn't say shut down some of these receivers this year, but you played Stephon Diggs pretty damn well for most of that game before a few injuries happened, and then down the stretch he basically killed you. But regardless of the point, this game has secondary written all over it for me. Can you disrupt Trevor Lawrence's timings? Can you get these receivers off their routes? Can you bump them? And can you take away these security blanket routes for Trevor Lawrence? Can you turn him into the Trevor Lawrence that we saw early on in the year? Turnover prone, lots of interceptions, bad decision making. Or are you going to allow him to carve you up like he did the Ravens, like he did the Raiders, and really the Chiefs as well, except they lost that game. But again, Trevor Lawrence, the last 3 games, Jeff, 6 touchdowns, 77% completion percentage, 77. 250-plus yards a game. They're 2-1 in that stretch. Oh, by the way, 0 interceptions. Maybe I forgot to mention that. I don't think I did, but I'm just going to remind you again. 0 interceptions. They're protecting the ball. They're playing decent defense. I'm not going to say Jacksonville's playing good defense, but they're playing okay. And the offense is doing what you would expect the Doug Peterson offense to do. So this is a very, very interesting matchup. I'm excited to hear what all of you have to say. Jeff, your thoughts on Trevor Lawrence and his recent success?
Yeah, you talked about a 2-1 over the last 3 games, but the thing that stands out to me the most is the loss to Kansas City. He was sacked 5 times. The win that took a drive at the end of the game, a miraculous drive, he had 4 sacks in that game as well. So, again, this Jacksonville team, over the last 3 games, 9 sacks given up, you can get to the quarterback. And this is where Aiden Hutchinson, this is where Josh Pascal, this is where Julian Okora, those guys come into play. Because if you can get to Trevor Lawrence, make him uncomfortable, there's been multiple games this year where that offensive line for the Jags have given up more than 4 sacks, 3 sacks. So they're prone to doing it. It's about capitalizing on those opportunities. Trevor Lawrence can still make plays. He can convert a 3rd down with his legs. I know Travis Etienne, he's questionable. That's probably the big one I'm waiting on, because if he's not available to play, I think it changes really this offense entirely. But that's the key to success right there, is getting to Trevor Lawrence. And yes, to your point, secondary is very important. Jeff Okudah will be back. You're expecting the secondary with Kirby Joseph. Maybe he can get another one picked off. But it's going to be up to that pass rush, in my opinion, because if Travis Etienne does not play, those guys up front, Aleem McNeil, the game that Aleem had against the Giants with a similar offensive line, he's got to come alive again, man. If you can get after the quarterback and slow down the run, especially if Travis Etienne's not playing, it's going to make the job a little more easier.
Well, let's be honest about these 2 teams. They're inconsistent, and they're 4-7 for a reason, right? They're both 4-7 for a reason. Having said that, JaMycal Hasty is no joke out of the backfield. We saw him tear apart Baltimore not only on the ground, but notably in the air. He is a pass-catching threat. And if you look at the Lions' schedule this year, off the top of my head, I don't recall going up a running back or even a backfield that could really beat you with their pass-catching ability. Maybe Dalvin Cook, maybe. Aaron Jones, yes. Aaron Jones for sure. And you saw what they were able to do. So JaMycal Hasty, even if Travis Etienne doesn't play, I think Hasty is a suitable option. I'm not saying he's as good as Travis Etienne, don't get me wrong, but it is still a matchup you have to respect. And this Doug Peterson team, again, they're clicking right now. They're playing quality football. They're not turning the ball over as much. Trevor Lawrence isn't making as many mistakes. And this is, if I'm honest with you, this is his best stretch of his career. And how do you affect the quarterback, right? This always goes back to the core foundation I talk about in football. What are the most important attributes to surround your quarterback with and to surround your defense with to go against opposing quarterbacks? Well, let's look at it from your perspective. If you have a quarterback, what do you want to do? You want to protect him, and you want to give him weapons. Very simple concept. And if you are going up against a very good quarterback, or any quarterback for that matter, what do you want to do? You want to get after him, right? Pass rush. And like you mentioned, Jeff, so perfectly, 5 sacks they gave up against the Chiefs. They gave up 4 against the Baltimore Ravens.
Yep.
You're looking at the Lions front 7 now and saying, hey, Aiden Hutchinson, hey, Aleem McNeil, hey, James Houston, whoever it may be. Hey, Malcolm Rodriguez, hey, Anzo, I don't care who. This is an offensive line that is susceptible to giving up pressure and allowing edge rushers and really just defense in general to get home. Take advantage of it. Mm-hmm. Because Trevor Lawrence just turned around his 3rd consecutive game with 100 passer rating or higher. I don't want to say he's arrived, but he is playing the best football of his young career. And we all joke about Urban Meyer being a joke NFL coach. Last year, you can call it a rookie year if you want. This is really his rookie year. Urban Meyer is your coach. He's out there banging chicks instead of helping his quarterback grow. I mean, that's not the most ideal situation for any young quarterback.
No.
Doug Peterson comes in, and you know how I'm a big fan of the hire. Not because I think he's going to lead them to this, unbelievable success, but I care about my investments.
Yeah.
And Trevor Lawrence is an investment, and I want to make sure I'm getting the most out of him. It's why the Eberflus hire really confused me, because I'm trying to invest in my franchise quarterback, but it turned out, oh boy, they figured out how to use Justin Fields, actually, and credit to them. I was wrong about that. So I like the Peterson move. I like what Jacksonville is doing, and you're going to have to really, really get Trevor Lawrence going, because he is mobile. He's capable of moving in and out of the pocket. He's not going to be a guy that you just easily take down. He's a big-bodied quarterback.
Yeah, he's a big man.
Let's be honest. He was the greatest prospect to come out of the NFL draft since Andrew Luck at quarterback. Mm-hmm. That is a fact. It's a reality. That's who he is. So it's going to be a difficult matchup. I'm intrigued to see how the Lions handle it. And again, you brought it up, their running back situation, Jeff. Travis Etienne, JaMycal Hasty backing him up. If Etienne is available, you have a problem. Because what Jacksonville can do so well is they can run that jet sweep to Jamal Agnew. They can decoy him. They can run him out of the backfield. Hell, they can hand the ball off to him if they'd like. They have a lot of options. It's a creative offense. So I'm very curious to see how it gets to play out. But I guess my question for you is, are you more confident in the Lions, let's say, hypothetical here, if Travis Etienne doesn't play? And
yes,
again, he's
absolutely. I think that speaks to, if you look at the Jags, they're 1-4 this year on the road. So they haven't been that great on the road. The Lions are 2-4 at home. They played some tough teams at home. And if you look at how similar both of these teams are, not only their record, they're both 4-7. Trevor Lawrence, Jared Goff. They have basically the same amount of touchdowns. Jared has 17. Trevor has 16. They have basically the same amount of interceptions. Jared has 7. Trevor Lawrence has 6. Basically the same amount of passing yards. Travis Etienne, 728 rushing yards. Jamal, 734 rushing yards. You look at the receivers. Christian Kirk, 725 receiving yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 716 receiving yards. These teams are super similar. Now, there's more upside with Trevor Lawrence and Jared Goff, but statistically, both these teams are very close in looking at all the statistics. So defensively, it's a tough one. I mean, if you look at sacks given up, sacks on opposing quarterbacks, both these teams are super close in what they can do. So it really is. It's much closer than people think. I think the only advantage the Lions have right now is they are playing at home, and the Jags this year haven't been the greatest on the road. So the Lions have that going for them. But yeah, Travis Etienne, if he plays or not, it's a big difference.
All right, fair enough. Let's go to Terrell out in Florida. Terrell, you're on the morning show. Welcome back, buddy. What do you got for us?
Hey, good morning, fellas. Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Awesome. I'm fantastic. We're going to keep it real positive this morning because I'm in a good-ass mood, even though I had to get up early. So, look. So, I know that everybody is all hyped, and they want the Lions to win, and we want to go on a little playoff run because we've been tortured for most of our lives. I get it. But in my personal opinion, and y'all can be wrong if you want, it's perfectly fine. But in my opinion, as long as the kids go out there and they play good, if we lose the game, I'm fine with it. The only thing that's going to piss me off that could possibly happen in this game is if Coach Campbell goes out there and butt-fucks the clock again. If he doesn't do that, and he just coaches a good game, and we lose, I'm good with it. I just want the kids to go out there and play hard, show up, build on the season. Because, bro, next year, when Brad has 6 picks in the top 3 rounds and our salary cap is not a clusterfuck anymore, bro, next year it's going to be on.
You know what, Terrell?
I
I
can't
think
wait.
you're spot on. What I would say, though, is I'm with you on I don't want to see any clock management issues anymore.
No.
We're done.
No.
Grow up. It's a year and a half in. You have coached, let's see, you're 4-7, 17 last year. So you've coached 11 and 17, 28 games. You've coached 28 games now. I don't need the child shit anymore. I don't need the, I'm being aggressive. I want an extra possession. Shut the fuck up and go to halftime. All right, and play defense. That's what I need you to do, Dan Campbell, moving forward. Having said that, look, I'm not sure how I feel. I don't want to sit here and say I want them to lose because you know what, Terrell? 4 weeks ago they were 1-6, and I wasn't happy at all. And all I was asking for was improvement. And then they went on a 3-game winning streak. And I did see improvement. And I saw improvement in coaching. And then, of course, on Thursday night, on the Thursday Thanksgiving game, you see the old PTSD return in Dan Campbell, clock management going into half, the fourth quarter management, whatever you want to call it. I just want to stop. I want to stop seeing all that. And if that means they pick at number 8 or number 13, to me, it doesn't matter because Brad Holmes is the GM. I'm not going to sit here and cry draft pick because I know the Rams are going to lose every single one of their games the rest of the way. They're going to be 3-14. And if Houston wins like I expect them to this weekend, that Rams pick might be 2. Damn it, dare I say 1. So I'm not going to get caught up in telling or expecting this team to lose as long as they play well. I want to see them win. I want to see them progress because if they're not winning and they're not progressing, Terrell, well, I'm going to be up here being an asshole about the head coach. So I don't want to have to do that.
Me too. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. I don't want them to lose. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, as long as they go out there and they keep progressing, I'm good. But, yeah, bro, I think the Bears are going to win a couple games. I'm pretty sure that we're locked into the number 2 pick. And, boy, you put Will Anderson or Carter on that line, I can't wait, bro. I'm hyped.
Appreciate the call, Terrell. Enjoy the rest of your morning. I love the energy.
Yes, sir.
Take care, buddy. Yep. Yeah, look, I mean, that's where most fans are, I would say. Maybe,
yeah.
If I were to put a pulse on the fan base at the moment. See
yeah,
your team play well.
Progression's important, but also with progression, you got to win. I think you can't just keep saying progression. Yeah, players can get better, but if they're getting better, you expect results to be a W in the win column.
Funky says, if you're done with clock management issues, you shouldn't watch the NFL anymore. A lot of these teams seem to be having these issues. See, I would phrase that differently, Funky, because you're right. And hear me out. This is next level shit, by the way. I just thought of this. I can't believe it. I'm quite impressed with myself for this. All right, you guys ready for this?
You're even standing.
I'm going to say it slowly. All right? And we're all going to say it together. Kumbaya around the campfire, okay? I want everybody to repeat after me. All right? Fish, turn on your mic. You and Jeff. Fletch, damn it, you too, buddy.
Okay.
Everybody repeat after me. Okay? There are good teams.
Good teams.
And bad teams.
And bad teams.
In the NFL.
In the
National
NFL.
Football
Okay.
League.
Okay. Fish, NFL, not National Football League, you dickhead. All right. Repeat after me, I said. The good teams
The good teams
The good teams
have good clock management.
have good clock management.
The bad teams
Bad teams
have poor clock management and are poorly disciplined.
Are
That's
the Detroit
kinda long.
Lions that don't have
So
good
let's
clock
try to be
management.
the good fucking teams that don't fuck the clock and don't fuck themselves over. And you don't have to repeat this, guys.
I'm
and
not.
don't be the fucking bad team that makes all the mistakes, takes a Colt 45 and shoots themselves in the fucking dick. How about we stop doing that, huh? Cool.
I would
All right,
hope to
kumbaya
stop doing
moment.
that.
Everybody fish, mute your mic, shut the hell up,
Oh,
go grab
great.
some marshmallows or something.